The night shift at Hollow Pines. Do you believe that some places remember? I'm not talking about memories carved into wood or photographs on dusty shelves. I mean places that absorb pain. Places that drink suffering until it seeps through the walls, poisoning anyone unlucky enough to step inside. This is the story of Hollow Pines Rest Stop. A place along the highway you'll never find on a map. A place truckers whisper about in gas stations, where rumors spread but no one dares admit they've been. Because the ones who make it out never, ever come back. And tonight you'll learn why. His name was Ethan, 35 years old. A college dropout who had nothing left except a part-time gig riding shotgun for an overnight bus route. He hated the job. The hours stretched like eternity, and the darkness outside the windows always seemed to move closer than it should. That night, the bus rolled into a fog thicker than soup. Even the high beams couldn't punch through it. The driver cursed under his breath. Then the engine coughed, sputtered, and died. They pulled off to the side of a lonely stretch of highway. Through the mist, Ethan spotted a neon glow. A sign that flickered, Hollow Pines Rest Stop. It looked abandoned. Still, the driver muttered, "Go check for a phone. I'll try the engine." So Ethan stepped out. His boots crunched on wet gravel. The sign buzzed overhead like a dying insect. The doors of the rest stop groaned open as if breathing. Inside it smelled like mildew and perfume. Sweet but rotten. The shelves were dusty, half empty. No clerk behind the counter. Just silence. Then, clang. The cash register drawer slid open by itself. And in the corner of the room, a payphone began to ring. The sound cut through the silence, sharp and shrill. Ethan froze. He hadn't noticed the payphone before. It looked like it had just appeared. Hesitantly, he picked up. A woman's voice whispered on the other end. "Don't look at the mirrors." The click. The line went dead. Ethan turned. His stomach twisted. Every wall in the rest stop was lined with mirrors. Long panels, some cracked, some smeared with grime. He could see himself dozens of times, staring back pale and wide-eyed. At first normal. But then, one reflection twitched. Just slightly. Too slow. He blinked. Moved his hand. Most reflections followed, but one didn't. He just kept staring. Ethan backed away, heart racing. He refused to look again. Instead, he ran for the window, desperate for some sign of the bus outside. But when he looked out, the fog had swallowed everything. The road, the bus, the driver, gone. And in the distance, faint but clear, he heard the horn of the bus blaring. Ethan stumbled back from the window, chest heaving. He turned to leave, only to find the entrance doors were no longer there. In their place stretched a long hallway. Fluorescent lights buzzed overhead. Vending machines hummed like restless insects. He walked, legs trembling. Each door along the hallway led to something impossible. One opened onto his childhood bedroom. His old dinosaur posters. His mother's voice, faintly humming. Another revealed the emergency room. The night his mother died. Her body still on the bed, machines flatlining. Ethan slammed the door shut, gasping. Whispers echoed behind him. "Stay here, Ethan. We've been waiting." The smell of smoke grew stronger. Burning rubber. Gasoline. A memory clawed its way back. When he was 17, there had been a car crash. His friends hadn't made it out, but somehow he had. Now he could hear footsteps following. Heavy. Slow. He turned to the mirrors lining the hallway. A figure stood there. A tall, shadowed thing. Limbs too long. Its face. Nothing but smooth skin. The reflection raised a hand and grabbed him. The glass shattered, dragging Ethan through. He fell into a world of darkness and broken asphalt. All around him were rows of buses. Burned out. Crashed. Twisted metal husks filled with passengers. The passengers weren't moving. Not breathing. But their eyes followed him. Blank. Staring. Ethan stumbled forward, then froze. Inside one of the buses, he saw himself. Dead. Slumped against the front seat. His breath hitched. He tried to run, but the world peeled away layer by layer. The asphalt cracked open. Screams poured out from below. And from the void it came. The shadow. The eyeless thing. It whispered in a voice like knives scraping glass. "You never left that crash. You've been here since." Ethan shook his head, shouting, "No, that's not true." But the ground beneath him turned to black tar. His legs sank, dragging him down. Through the sludge, a familiar face appeared. The bus driver. Torn apart, bloodied, but still alive. His lips trembled as he whispered, "Don't let them keep you. With a scream, Ethan ripped himself free and hurled his body against the nearest mirror. Glass exploded. He tumbled back into the rest stop. The hallway. The hum of the vending machines. The front doors were there again. He didn't think. He just ran. Outside, through the mist, the bus was waiting. Its headlights cutting two pale tunnels through the fog. The passengers inside waved him over. Faces he recognized. Strangers. Some he didn't. But they looked human. See? He stumbled aboard. Collapsed into a seat, chest heaving with relief. The bus began to roll. For a moment, he let himself believe he was free. But then, the air grew cold. Too cold. He glanced around. None of the passengers were moving. None of them were breathing. Their skin was waxy. Their eyes filmed over. Slowly, the driver turned. It wasn't the driver. It was the shadow. The eyeless figure. Its mouth tore open far too wide and a voice spilled out. "Welcome back." The bus drove into darkness. Not a tunnel. Not a road. Just endless black. Ethan pressed against the glass, but the fog outside became mirrors stretching forever. And in the reflection, he wasn't sitting. He wasn't breathing. He was already dead. The reflection smiled. Ethan didn't. Travelers who stumble into hollow pines never leave. They ride forever, trapped between the crash that killed them and the road that will never end. So if you're ever driving late at night and you see a neon sign through the fog, don't stop, because the next passenger might be you.